Hello friends, my name is Raviraj Ramchandra Devate. I am studying in Sri Venkateswara College of Engineering, Bangalore, Department of Basic Science. My campus ID 23CS 2050. Subject Waste Management. Subject code VETCK105F. Topic Component Separation, Drying and Dewatering of Waste. Component separation. Component separation is a necessary operation in which waste components are identified and either manually or mechanically added for the processing. This is required for a recovery of valuable materials for recycling. Preparation of solid waste by removing a certain components to prior to insertion energy recovery, compositing and biogas production. Component separation. Air separation. Process of separating categories of materials by of difference in their respective aerodynamics characteristics. Aerodynamics characteristics of particle material is the primary function of the size and geometry and density of the particle. Air separation is primarily used separating the lighter material from heavier. The lighter material may include plastic, paper and paper products and other organic materials. Type conventional fluid type zigzag air classifier. Open the interval vibrating type. Types of air classifier. Conventional QT type. It is one of the simplest type of air classifier. In this type, when the processed solid waste are dropped into vertical QT, the lighter materials are carried by the airflow to the top, while heavier material fall to the bottom. The QT. The control process of the percentage split between the light and heavy function as compiled by varying the waste, loading the rate airflow and the crossing section of the QT. A rotary air clock feed a machine is required to introduce the setter waste into a classifier. Zigzag air classifier. Zigzag air classifier consists of continuous vertical column with the internal zigzag deflector through which air is drawn at a high rate. Settled waste are introduced at the top of the column at the control rate and air is introduced at the bottom of the column. As the waste drops into the air stream, the lighter fraction is influenced and move up, move upward and out of the column, while the heavy fraction falls to the bottom. The waste separation can be achieved through a proper designing of the separation chamber. Airflow rate the influent feed rate. Component separation. Factor to be considered for the selection of the air separation equipment. Characteristics of material, physically and chemically. Methods of waste transfer. Operational characteristics, reliability, sites consideration, space, noise, environmental limitation. Magnetic separation. Magnetic, it is the most common method in recovering ferrous scrap from the center of the solid waste involves the magnetic recovery system. Ferrous magnetic materials are usually recovered either after resettling or before the air classification. When waste are mass fired on the incinerators, the magnetic separators are used to remove the ferrous materials from the incinerator reduce. Magnetic recovery systems have also been used at land disposal sites. The magnetic location where ferrous materials are recovered will depend on the objectives to be achieved, such as reduction of the wear and tear on the processing and separating equipment, degree of product productivity achieved, and the required recovery of efficiency. Equipment used for a magnetic separation. Suspended magnet. In this type of separator, a permanent magnet is used to attract the ferrous material from the waste streams. When attract materials research the area where there no magnetism, it is falls away freely. This ferrous material is then collected in a certainer device suitable for processing or raw fuels, where separator can be remove a large piece of ferrous material easily from the waste stream. equipments used to magnetic pulley. This is consist of drum type of device containing permanent magnets or electron magnets over which conveyor or a similar transfer mechanism carries the waste string. The conveyor belt conforms for the round shape of the magnetic drums and magnetic force pulley of the ferrous material away from the falling stream of the solid waste. Screening. Screening is the most common separating solid waste depending on the size by using the one or more screening surface. Screening has a number of applications in solid waste resources and energy required system. Screening screens can be used before or after centering and after separation of waste in various applications dealing both light and heavy fraction materials. The most commonly used screening are rotary drum screens and various forms of vibrating screens. Component separation, hand sorting, manual removal of damage or spottage of the equipment such as settling or screening. Initial separation, gravity separation principle of separate the shutter solid waste into light, frictional, light organic and other materials that float are skimmed from the surface. Chemical adhesive are also used to improve capture of the light organic and fine inorganic materials. These are materials taken to a landfill or a site. Interior for energy recovery, optical sorting. It is a use mostly separated glass from the waste stream. This can be completed by the identification of the transferring property of the glass shot from two materials, stones, ceramic bottles, cap, cork, rubber. In optical sorting, machines are heavier or complex and expensive. Drying. The following methods are used to apply a heat requires for drying waste. Convection drying. In this method, hot air is in directly contact with a wet solid waste stream. Con- Conduction drying. In this method, the wet solid waste are stream in contact with heat surface. Radiation drying. In this method, heat transmitted directly to the wet solid waste streams the radiation from the heat body. Dewatering. Dewatering is the more applicable to the problems of sludge disposal from the wastewater treatment plants, but may also be applicable in some cases to municipal or industrial waste problems. When drying beds, lawns, or separating on the lands are not possible, other mechanical means dewatering is used. The objective is reduced to the liquid volume in the solid waste streams. Once dewatering is the sludge can be mixed with other solid waste and the resulting the mixture can be in, inclinate to reduce the volume used for the production of recovery byproducts used for the production of compost buried in a landfills.